What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, a lot of you are going to be waking up to the fact that AMC has announced its annual shareholder meeting, which will be held November 8th, 2023. Now, I'm going to let you know right now, people, every YouTuber out there is going to try to ride the AMC gravy train and try to tell y'all what this document means. But let me explain something to you. Look right here at the top. It's 132 pages. To the individual who says that they could pick this document up and read it before I can even get it printed out on my printer and can sit here and go through it by every fucking sentence, they're going to be full of shit, people. Let me tell y'all something about this document. Number one, this is the second document, not the first document, okay? This happened immediately after his tweet. Now, the first thing you need to realize about this tweet is, you know Adam, and if you follow his Twitter feed, you know that he likes to use threads. He'll say a thing, then the next one will be number 2, then number 12, then number 14, number 25. He likes to space it out. The first thing I noticed that was odd about this was it was one big old long letter that he wrote to us. All right, and really, in letters, the only parts that matter is the opening and the ending. Everything in the middle is fluff. I mean, that's just the reality of life. So he says here in the beginning, you have sent me over 5,000 comments in response to tweets I wrote just in the past 2 days. I try to read them all, or as many as I can. As should be expected, many are positive, many are negative. This may surprise you, but I genuinely appreciate receiving all of it, the good, but also the bad. Why? And then he goes into his little spiel. I'll save y'all the interpretation of that. The ending is what's got you. In the language and customs of the 18th century, a message like this one would be signed, "Your humble and obedient servant." You all have many different voices and many different opinions. So sorting through the conflicting advice you pass on for AMC is not as simple as one might hope. Even so, I feel as if I am your humble and obedient servant, but since the 18th century was a couple hundred years ago, better that this message to you today be signed off with a much more modern, sincerely yours, Adam. Now, when I read that in his reference to the 18th century, in this letter, this is a letter of goodbye, people. This is him saying, I've steadied the course and I did the things that I should have done, and I had your best interests in mind the whole time letter. All right? This is a I will see y'all later letter. Then we get the actual notification of the shareholder event that'll be happening November 8th, okay? Now, if you look at this letter as his letter of saying goodbye, I've done my best to steer AMC the way it should have been, and I'll see y'all on the other side, then you come and you read this. And the very first proposal, all right, is going to blow you away. To approve an amendment to our third amend and restated certificate of incorporation to declassify our board members, shorten all existing terms to expire at the annual meeting, and make certain other immaterial changes to the certificate of incorporation. All right? That says a lot. Now, to understand number one, we also have to read number 2, A and B, because 2A says, if proposal 1 is approved, then this. And B says, if proposal 1 is not approved, then this. Okay? Now, what's going on here is it's not time to vote on the board. All right? Who do we want to sit on the board? There are 3 different classes in AMC's board of directors. There's a class 1, class 2, and class 3. You see it right here in proposal 2B. If proposal 1 is not approved, to elect our board of directors, the following nominees for terms of expiring at the 2026 annual meeting is Denise Clark and Carrie Putnam. All right. Now, if you go over here, you find out From Business Wire, AMC Entertainment Holdings Board of Directors elects Denise Clark and Carrie Putnam to serve as directors of the company effective January 1st, 2023. They'll serve a 3-year term and they go back up for their board position in 2026. Watch what it says right here. D. Clark and Carrie Putnam will each serve as Class 3 director of the company. All right? So this is when Class 3 directors were voted for. All right? When you voted for Adam Aaron last year, then that was really Class A directors, and the year before that it was Class 2 directors. And in this particular year here is Class 3 directors. They offset them by 1 year each. And they have a 3-year sitting on the board if approved. Now, back to Proposal 1. If it is denied, then we will hold a vote for Denise Clark and Carrie Putnam. But if it's approved, then 2A comes into effect, and that is to elect our board of directors the following nominees for the terms expiring at the 2024 annual meeting: Mr. Adam Aaron, Denise Clark, Howard Koch, Philip Lauder, and the rest of the pony show. All right? So, if you vote yes for Proposal 1 to declassify the board members and bring all the classes together to where every year you can vote on who the board members will be, then Adam Aaron and the rest of them are automatically placed in that position for another year. The next time we can vote for who can sit on the board will be in 2024 when we vote for all of them, because that will be the new rule. But as it stands right now, then we only have to vote for Denise Clark and Carrie Putnam because they are Class 3. Those are the only ones that have come in there. Now, when you declassify the board members, you bring them all together, and there's no more offsetting of years, okay? It's all at once. When we agree to do Proposal 1 this year, then every year after this, until it's changed, we will have a vote for who the directors of this company will be. All right? Now, let's be honest. That was pretty simple for somebody like me to figure out, but I didn't understand what it meant to declassify the board of directors. All right? And then once I went and figured out what it meant, I understood what proposals 2A and 2B meant, all right? But declassifying of the board. Watch what's going on, people. Y'all say hello to Jenny. Y'all knew I was going to call her in for backup. And I asked her, on page 17 of the PDF, it states, we are submitting for stockholder approval an amendment to our certificate of incorporation to immediately declassify the board and make certain other immaterial changes. What do they mean by declassify the board? And ChatGPT said, declassifying the board refers to the change in the structure of the company's board of directors. Classified boards, or also called staggered boards, in a classified board structure, directors are grouped into classes, typically 3. Class 1, Class 2, Class 3. For election years, this means that in any given year, only a fraction of the board seats are up for election at any one time. All right? To declassify the board means to transition from a classified board structure to a structure where all the directors are up for election every year, serving 1-year terms. This move is often seen as a corporate governance reform because it allows stockholders to vote on the entire board annually instead of once every year and every year again and again, potentially making the board more accountable to the stockholders. That sounds like a good idea. But wait, declassifying the board can make it easier for activist investors to gain control or influence over the board, since they can target the entire board in a single year rather than waiting multiple years to replace a majority of the directors. All right? Then it didn't sit well with me, and I said, well, why would a company have classified structure? And listen to why it's set up the way it is right now. Defensive measure against hostile takeovers. A staggered board, which is what we have right now, can serve as a deterrent against hostile takeovers, since only a fraction of directors is up for election at any given year. It would take multiple years for an activist investor or hostile bidder to gain control of the board, making a swift takeover more difficult. So, when you say that you want to declassify the board, what you're actually doing is opening it up for a hostile takeover, because then anybody from Disney or Amazon or Netflix or whoever can come in, gobble up a majority of the shares of the company, vote on a new board that year, and they have taken over the company. So there is a damn good reason why we have a structured, classified board of directors. We do not want it being able to be turned over every year. All right? And then it kind of says that if it's approved, you elect the ones that are there right now to serve another year. All right? And you go, well, we don't want that motherfucker there. So you're going to vote against it. But then in voting against it, you still can't put Adam Aaron out till his turn comes up to vote, which is 2 years from now. Okay? So it's smoke and mirrors. This is simply, and then if you go to page 17, it says Proposal 1, approval of an amendment to the Certificate of Incorporation to declassify the board and make certain other immaterial changes. We are submitting for stockholder approval an amendment to our Certificate of Incorporation to immediately declassify the board and make certain other immaterial changes. Our board, so you know what it means now, our board has unanimously approved and recommends that all stockholders approve the proposed amendments to Articles 5 of the Certificate of Incorporation to immediately declassify, so where we can vote on directors every year and have a possible takeover like Antara could have just did, and place all new board members. All right? That was almost a reality. If they would have had a declassified board, Antara could have put all new board members up there. All right? That's the dangers of declassifying it. Then it goes on to say that they want to eliminate the Class B common stock, because we have 3 types of stocks in AMC. You have the Class A common, you have the Class B common, and you have the AMC preferred equity units. All right? Right now, only the Class A common is being used. They basically retired Class B when Wanda gave them up when they left the company. All right? And so all they're doing here now is just eliminating the phrase Class B out of the Articles of Incorporation that we have. It's unnecessary, they said. There's no reason to have Class B common stock anymore. Section C of Article 5, Article 6, to remove the corporate book and stockholders meeting locations. All right, see, they don't tell you that in the first page, do they? They want to change the locations of the stockholder meetings. Number 4, remove Article 8 in its entirety as unnecessary, because Wanda Group is no longer a significant shareholder of the company. So they're basically taking the references to Wanda out. So they're taking the references to Class B, they're taking the reference to Wanda out, and then it says remove Article 10 in its entirety as unnecessary, because all defined terms are located in provisions which are being removed from the certificate. All right, sum it up for you people. Basically, proposal number 1, when you go even deeper, you see what they're doing here is like a business owner who's sweeping the floor, getting ready before he turns out the lights in his business. That's what I'm seeing when I'm reading this. They are cleaning up the Certificate of Incorporation. All right, they're getting rid of all the unnecessary jargon. They're bringing a whole new basic articles of incorporation will be born when we approve a proposal 1. But it will also open the door for whoever it is standing at the door wanting in to take over AMC. So that's what Proposal 1 and Proposal 2A and Proposal 2B is all about, people. I'm sorry it was so long. I'm going to make this into a playlist, and I'll start with the next proposal after I read all the fine print. So with that, love y'all. Be blessed. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.